Good evening. The time is 6:35. I will now call the December 17th, 2025 meeting of the Common Council of the City of Lawrence to order. Will you please stand for pledge of allegiance? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you humbly and gracefully today, asking and thanking you for all the many blessings that you have bestowed upon us. We ask that you give us, we appreciate the safety that you provide for us. We ask that you keep our public safety officers safe out there in the streets. We want to special thank for all the folks that have been working hard to keep the city open as we've dealt with some inclement weather, Father. We appreciate that. Lord, we ask that you give us discernment and wisdom as we try to guide the city. And Lord, we ask that you just give us the grace, and we always continue and ask for your mercy in your highest, most holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. We do have a quorum. We have 9 councilors. This meeting has been properly noticed in accordance with the Indiana Open Door Law. Copies of the agenda are located in the back of the meeting room. Also, any citizen wishing to speak later under citizens' comments, please sign in using the sign-in sheet located in the back of the room. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for December 1, 2025. Are there any questions or corrections to the minutes, councilors? Okay. Do we have a motion? Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. Thank you. Any comments or discussions? Now we will proceed for a vote. Thank you, councilors. It passed. Reports from the committees. Are there any committee reports? We had a committee of the whole this evening at 5:30, and we talked about proposal number 7. It was tabled. And we also talked about the the procedures for the councils, and that one was tabled as well. Unfinished business. Next, we will have unfinished business, proposal number 3, 2025. Madam Clerk, would you please read the title of the ordinance into record?
Proposal number 3, 2025, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Lawrence, Indiana, amending Title 1, Article 2, Chapter 5 of the Codes of Ordinances of the City of Lawrence, Indiana.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. This proposal remains before the Committee of the Whole for consideration and recommendation to the Council. Next agenda item is unfinished business, proposal number 7. This proposal was referred to the Committee of the Whole for consideration, and it was tabled in that committee meeting. The next agenda item under unfinished business is resolution number 10, 2025. Madam Clerk, would you please read the title of this resolution 10 into record?
Resolution number 10, 2025, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Lawrence, Indiana, amending the Common Council rules and procedures.
This ruling was also tabled in the committee as Committee of a Whole. Next, we will have new business. Oh, okay. The next agenda item is new business. Items 1 to 4 under new business are nominations for appointments to the Redevelopment Commission, Board of Zoning Appeals, and Fort Harrison Reuse Authority. We are seeking nominations for 2 appointments to the Redevelopment Commission, 3 appointments to the Board of Zoning Appeals, 1 appointment for an alternate member to the Board of Zoning Appeals, and 2 appointments to the Fort Harrison Reuse Authority. I would seek nominations for these appointments from each of the councilors. After the nominations window will close, after the nomination window closes, I will ask each of you to state on the record by roll call the nominees you would like to appoint based on the list of nominees received. I will call the roll in alphabetical order based on the last name of the councilors. The clerk will keep track of the votes. Are there any questions before we start? We will now give consideration of appointments to the Redevelopment Commission. Have any nominations?
Madam President, could we hear the names of the people that are serving on those boards now?
You have, sure.
Michael Townsend and Becky Parker.
Madam President,
Yeah,
are we just nominating one at a time or for 2 of them? Well, I would make a motion or a vote that we just reappoint Michael Townsend and Becky Parker.
Push a motion forward.
Oh, a motion? There we go.
Yep, and I'll second, okay, sorry, second.
okay, we take a vote, everyone. Thank you, councilors. Okay, it passed for Townsend. Is that for both of them? And Parker? To be on that committee. The nomination window is now closed for the Redevelopment Commission. Okay, next it will be, oh, those are the names. Did they show up on theirs as well? Okay. Okay. Next will be the appointments to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Yes, I'd
There'll
like
be-
to make a motion that we reappoint Karen Celestino Horseman, Faith Alvarez, and Eugene West.
I'll second that.
Thank you, councilors. Okay, this one is closed for the BZA, for the Board of Zoning Appeals. Next will be the alternate for the BZA.
Madam President,
Yes.
I'd make a motion that we
Just second.
reelect Shelley Carey?
Cheryl Carey.
Yeah.
Scooter.
Scooter.
Did she hear it? Oh.
Councilor Chavis. Thank you, it passed. That one is now closed. Next, we will have for the Fort Harrison Reuse Authority. The nominees are Dion Atkinson and Karen Horth Powers. We've had thank you, councilors, you are moving fast. Thank you, councilors, it passed. All right, moving right along here. Next on the agenda was Proposal 12. The final item under the new business tonight is Proposal 12. Madam Clerk, would you please read the full title of Proposal 12 into the record?
Proposal number 12, 2025, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Lawrence, Indiana, appropriating additional funds and amending the 2025 budget.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilors, it is my understanding that the Controller's Office did not publish the required notice in time to consider this item this evening. Therefore, we would need to reschedule it to a future date. Controller Faulkner, do you have a statement you'd like to make? Is she here?
Yes, she's here.
Oh, she's sitting behind. Come on down.
Yeah, we put together a joint statement. And-
Can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Greg Goodnight, Chief of Staff.
Terry Falker, City Controller.
So we put together just a quick statement. It'll probably take 30 seconds to read. Lawrence Council members, we find it necessary to clarify a couple of items involving the 2025 additional appropriations that were to be originally placed on tonight's agenda. As you know, the mayor and council president have rescheduled the appropriations to December 29th as advertised to ensure all legal notices are met and to ensure transparency. To meet tonight's legal requirements for IBJ advertising, the city of Lawrence had to provide legal notice to the IBJ by December 1st at noon to allow publishing in their December 5th edition. As you can see, that is almost to the day, a month before year-end expenditures have to be totaled. For that reason, the controller purposefully advertised at a higher number as is customary. The correct number that is requested on the 29th meeting is $828,000, not the amount advertised. That correct amount was shared with Frost Brown Todd attorney Scott Kraft, Council President Robinson, Vice President Kramer, and Clerk Atkinson on a Thursday, December 11th email. Hopefully your council leadership shared that email with you last week. I want to thank those council members who have taken the time to understand the clarification of this issue. We'll take any questions.
Okay. Any questions, councilors?
Oh, Madam President, I'll get used to this.
Yes, Councilor Wells.
In the October monthly report, there was it showed that the mayor's budget and I believe the police budget was at 100%. Is this appropriation have anything to do with,
I can read them with the, if you want.
I'm sorry?
I can read with the four categories.
Okay.
Yep, sure.
No, it has nothing to do with
Yeah, there will be four funds for appropriation. One's the Common Council for $102,000 out of the general fund. One is out of the Cume Cap Improvement Fund for $198,000, and that is for the Guaranteed Energy Savings contract that was done a few years ago, I think 6 or 7 years ago with Performance Services. Does that ring a bell?
That was done how many years ago?
I've been told 6 or 7 years ago. It's prior administration.
Okay.
$150,000, and this was shared in the December 11th email last Thursday with the council president.
I'm sorry, can you,
Yeah.
Yes,
can you repeat the Cume Cap?
the Cume Cap Improvement Fund is for other service and charges of debt service, and that's for the guaranteed, this predates Mayor Whitfield's administration. The Guaranteed Energy Savings project done with Performance Services, Guaranteed Energy Savings Program.
Wasn't
So
perfection.
what, so what? it was-
Perfection, I think you're right.
So what are we paying for exactly?
The debt service on that, the way the Guaranteed Energy Savings.
Yeah, I know how it works, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
this is for that debt service. There were four funds, those are two. The other one's for the Emergency Medical Services Fund. That's for personnel services for the EMS staff, for the ambulance staff.
And how much was that, please?
150,
Oh, okay, for the EMS staff?
correct. And the last one is the Administrative Service Fund, and that's for the debt principal on the police building, and that is for $378,000.
It was for what about the police station?
The debt
Debt
service
service.
for the police building.
Oh,
Did I get those right?
so what about the, excuse me, what about the 100% on the mayor's budget, and was that just a transfer of funds, or?
I'm not aware of the mayor's budget being even at 70% because of all of the vacancies that they have. So the mayor's budget is well under her budget.
Okay, according to, maybe I read it wrong, but what I read, it was at 100% in October, and was to the
No.
police station, so it was not.
No, they had, the current 2025 budget, I think they had like 3 or 4 vacancies that keeps them well under their budget.
Okay, I had another concern. Apparently, this request for the additional appropriations was resubmitted back into the newspapers, back at $4.2 million again, is that correct?
That is correct.
Why?
Well, because at the time, when I went to try to do an additional appropriation through Gateway, it gave me the notice that it wasn't in a timely manner. It was at 10 o'clock. At 12 o'clock, I needed to have that submitted.
And it couldn't just change a couple of numbers on the keyboard, or?
And instead of trying to guess, I'd rather be over than under. And so instead of having to rewrite the ordinance or the posting to the newspaper, I had instructions to the person who was actually doing the posting. I said, just post whatever we just posted.
Well, that was a lot over.
So does
It
that,
was a lot over.
does that mean that when you make your request in
I can
DLG,
request less. I cannot
Okay.
request more.
so you're going to request less,
Exactly.
828?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, I have one more question, if I could, please. When you post this at 4,200,000, whatever, but whatever you post in the paper to the public, should it not be accurate or a lot closer than?
You can post more than whatever you're requesting.
So there's
You
no
just can't
requirement
post-
for accuracy?
You can't post less than what you request. You
But
can
you can-
request more than less than what you post, you cannot request more than what you post.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Counselor.
So I just want to offer that my phone rang off the hook yesterday, as I know most of my peers did. It was very alarming for our constituents to see that big of a number posted, and so I understand that, you can post whatever, you can put in the public notice whatever number, but I think in the best interest of, I was alarmed, our constituents were alarmed. I think in the best interest of keeping that temperature in check, that, the number needs to be more in alignment with what we actually need. Because 3.4 million is a lot. Like, that's a big difference. That's a huge difference. If you said 300,000 or 500,000, but $3.4 million is a big
Yeah, I think on
difference.
December the 11th, we actually submitted the actual proposal 12 with the.
Yeah, which we
correct
got
numbers.
that, right? We got that as counselors, but the public didn't get it, right? So, and certainly, at that point that I received it, I actually sent an email to the council president saying, did you send us the right documents? Because, I thought there was a mistake, because it's such a big difference. And, and she explained that it wasn't, but, the public didn't get the benefit of that, right? Only we did.
Okay.
Madam President? I'm sorry, Zach?
Counselor Kramer.
Madam Clerk, I'm sorry, Madam Controller, are you able to explain if the amount that was given was just a random arbitrary
No,
number
it was
that
not
was
a
over?
random number. It included the correct numbers that we have posted on the proposal number 12 with some additional dollars for police and fire.
So my question is, you sent out a notice for a certain amount, 4-point-something million dollars, with exact amounts for different funds. How do you say that you thought that you had that amount, but then you realize later, oh, actually, we don't need that much? How did you get those specific numbers that you sent to us, and then be like, oh, actually, we only need 800,000? Those numbers are wrong. How did you get those
No,
set
that-
of specific numbers that you sent to
There
us?
was an actual calculation There was no guessing. When we initially did the proposal, we, as stated, we had not finished our analysis by December the 1st.
So before December 1st, you did need $4.3 million.
That was our estimate, yes.
Okay. And how is this related at all to the State Board of Accounts who said that there was an unreported $3.2 million for the State Board of Accounts? These numbers are pretty similar. And you guys
don't know
bragged
anything
for
about
about 2 months
reports
about
from
how
the
you
State
came
Board
in.
of Accounts,
Please let me
so I
finish,
cannot-
Madam.
I cannot address that.
You guys bragged for about 2 months about how you came in under budget 9% for 2024. And then this year in 2025, it's about the exact same amount percentage that you just requested originally. Can you explain how those numbers are so similar?
I have no idea what numbers you're talking about, so I don't know what numbers that are similar to.
So at the beginning of this year, the city put out a major release that they came in under budget by 9%.
I didn't get here till August the 14th, so I
Okay.
don't know.
Just for clarification, most likely, overall as a city, all departments, once it's reconciled and we get those numbers mid-January, end of January, will probably come in under budget as well. Although some funds, just what we just mentioned, will be over. It will be made up with savings in other departments that underspent their budget.
You're saying that we're going to come in under budget for this year?
I think so as a total.
Yeah, the general fund, yes, it will.
You're asking for an appropriation, but you're saying you're going to come in under budget?
We're coming under budget in the general fund. The general fund request for an additional appropriation is for the council for $102,000.
I think he's talking about the other 700 and,
That's not the general fund.
right. So none of those funds that are surplus in the general fund,
Well, you can't transfer fund to fund. So like I can't transfer general fund money to the CUMCAP fund or.
well, I understand you can't transfer it to the CUMCAP fund, but when we originally got the numbers, a large percentage of it was for personal services.
Right.
I mean, an overwhelmingly large percentage, like, I think it was 4 million.
Correct, okay. So we no longer need that from the general fund.
See, I think, I'm just going to say it, I think the general concern here is the belief that last year, at least December and maybe a portion of November, salaries were paid out of 2025 budget. So what we don't want to happen is that these numbers just keep rolling, and at some point,
Salaries were paid out of 2025 budget.
You think, you're saying 2024 salaries? were-
yes.
Oh,
I don't.
So that's concern.
I don't, I mean, if you have something that.
Because we didn't get those claims or vouchers until like well after January.
well.
And we questioned that at that time, so this
Payroll
isn't
doesn't
like,
come in till, I mean, it's probably, I mean, it would still be encumbered under 2025. It just wouldn't be paid to 2026 or vice versa with 2024. I'm not sure when the payroll was.
yeah, there was an issue. You'd have to research it, but it was debated and discussed at length last year. So,
So it wasn't the last payroll of 2024?
no. Sorry.
Okay, Counselor Wells.
Thank you, Madam President. The, getting confused between all these requests for, the 800-some thousand dollar request, the second request,
It was the first request, it was part of the first request as well.
wasn't the first one that I got. It was the second one,
It
maybe,
was part of the first request.
She
like I
means
said.
it was included, the
Okay.
800 was included in the 4 point.
All right, I got your point. Okay, irregardless, under that $800,000 request, some of that money was interest, was that not correct?
Debt and interest.
I'm sorry?
Debt and interest.
I don't understand, though, I guess help me understand how it is that this debt and interest wasn't flexible. I mean, it was a fixed
No, you pay
interest rate, was it
interest on
not?
the debt.
I'm
So
sorry?
You pay interest on the debt.
I understand that, but that's a fixed interest rate, is it not?
Yes.
And so how come is it 2 weeks before the end of the year, we're in a crisis with this interest?
From my understanding, the debt and interest was not budgeted in the 2025 budget.
Okay, I guess that would explain it. I guess my concern is, this money's gonna have to come out of the reserve fund. That would be correct, and then there's a $3 million overage, for next year's budget. I mean, how much we keep pulling we keep taking off of the apple tree, and sooner or longer, we don't have any apples. And I just, this budgeting of this administration seems to be a little
There's-
bit,
Well, you're
concerning.
saying, you're saying the administration, one of these 4 items is the council's budget, 1 of 4.
Yeah,
Because you guys you took money from 2024 and spent it in 2025. That's why the money's
We
gone.
paid the bills when they came through.
yeah, that's what happened, though. That's an accurate statement,
No,
but,
they were not for $100,000, the bills from 2024. Those late invoices were not for $102,000.
but we could split hairs whether it was 80, 70, 100. A portion of it was paid out of our current budget year. So we knew the first quarter of this year that we would need this appropriation. This didn't come from anywhere. We knew it. We've been asking for it. We knew we would need it because it was immediate that we saw that the legal fees from 24 were paid out of 25. So we've been in a deficit all year.
Yep.
On that line. And
year.
everybody in here is fully aware of that. So,
Yep. Counselor Jennings, thank you, Counselor.
Good evening, Madam Controller. I'm curious how you made a request before your analysis was done.
There was an estimate.
An
at
estimate?
December the 1st, so we were trying to determine how much we were going to need. I did not have all of the exact numbers,
Okay,
but that's what we initially had for the police and fire, the deficit that they would be in. And that's what we posted.
that's a big difference. That's a big difference,
Okay?
okay?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Counselor Wells?
yes.
Your last one?
To Councilor Jennings' point, or to his question, to me, and maybe I'm being a little skeptical, I guess, but it seems, and I don't mean to be insulting with this, but I just, my concern is that this is the same procedure as what we've seen in, well, the 2026 budget, the 2025 budget, is wait till the very last minute and then ram it through to the council because, oh, it's a crisis, it's got to get done, and just hoping that we just, we don't have time to do the research. So with that being said, I had asked back last summer about this audit that was done by the private accounting firm and told that it was private and it couldn't be divulged to the council or anybody else. Sure, you're the one that told me that. And, but
Who told
my
you that?
concern is that this audit would have been paid for, I'm sure, by taxpayer money. And I think that the council has every right to see it, and especially in light of this appropriation.
Keep in mind, that's not on the agenda tonight. You have till the 29th to look into it, ask questions, come meet with the controller, ask any questions you want to see. I mean, you're not voting tonight, so there's no pressure to make a decision tonight, you have till the 29th, when, I think that's when the meeting's scheduled, correct?
Well, it has not been scheduled. I was going to speak to that next.
Okay.
But back to what Councilor Wells was saying regarding that audit, that this council should have a copy of it.
I thought we were promised a copy, weren't we?
Well, we were, but we did not receive it.
What audit? did you
Baker
call?
Tilly's audit.
Mm-hmm.
Baker
For-
Tilly
for 20
audited,
For 2024 or? for-
It was this,
Their last audit.
Yeah,
They
Why
did
would
an
Baker
individual
Tilly-
audit.
Well,
Did
it
I-
had to have been for 2024.
was it 24?
There was- Councilman Chavis, are you thinking it's 2024 that was?
It was 24.
Okay, well.
Okay, well,
what they-
well, I know,
you-
Completed in
Controller can
25.
Find any documents with Baker Tilly that we need to.
Because I think it was done in June or July of '24.
It was
Yeah.
completed in 20.
there was an audit of 2024 of the city of Lawrence by Baker and Tillery, and you want a copy of the audit.
Was it 24 or 25?
No, we're in 25. It would have been 24.
Okay.
Whatever the last
It was
audit,
just before the
the
previous
last
contract
audit
lapsed.
performed by Baker Tilly is what the request is for.
Yeah.
And I believe that they audited 2024 in 2025.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Is it possible to get
I
a copy?
think,
Since we were promised
I
a copy?
imagine if we paid them to do an audit, we should have a copy, yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah. Okay, thank you. Don't leave.
Okay, thank you.
Any comments from the administration?
No, not necessarily. No, she said she's good. Okay, yeah, thank you.
excuse me,
Jamie?
before,
Okay.
Hmm?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Counselor Wells, you have a
Well-
question?
just a little off topic, but and I mentioned this earlier about the Board of Works approving funds over $5,000. Can we get some kind of an explanation on that? Or-
What do you, can you be specific on which item? you're
Well, I
talking about?
had it, honestly, I did, for the meeting when the big storm hit, and I wasn't able to get here, and so I was rushed again tonight, so I was hoping, honestly, everything that they have voted on since we have passed that $5,000 cap has been, most of it has been in excess of $5,000. And so that was, I guess my question is as to why.
Yeah,
Here comes council attorney, I mean,
I'll
city
let
attorney.
the council.
All right.
Thank you, Counselor.
You're welcome. Good evening, everyone. Amber Finley, Corporation Counsel for the City of Lawrence. When it comes to that ordinance, so I don't have it in front of me, but I'm pretty familiar with it. It says that before the council can pay a claim of a professional service agreement that meets or exceeds $5,000, that claim should come, or that contract should go before the council. And so, at the end of that section in the ordinance, it says it should first go in front of the Board of Works. And there are a few areas that that ordinance does not apply to. One of those being, when you're dealing with infrastructure. So you may have been seeing some of those during the Board of Works meeting. One that I do know that will come in front of you will be the NetLogix agreement, where they're working on the handbook, because that's not to exceed $22,000. And so that will come in front of you. It may not reach 22, and I talked about that with Councilor Mazur, but we'll get that in front of you.
Well, historically,
Go ahead.
Lawrence has been real good about the cart before the horse. And my concern is if the Board of Works approves something, by the time it gets to us to pay it, it's been done. And so then we really we either don't pay it and then threaten of being sued, which I think is the reason that this was initiated, to keep these projects or this hiring from happening and this money from being spent before it gets to the council to find out that, yeah, it's already been done and you better pay for it kind of situation.
Right, I can understand that. So the council, of course, appropriates money for departments at the beginning, when you pass the budget. And so you should be staying within, when I say you, I mean departments, the city should be staying within the parameters of your budget anyways. And I've talked about this a lot, about how I'm very mindful about, you know, specifically with the Corporation Council budget and making sure that that stays within the parameters of the appropriations that the council has set. And so when we have something like NetLogix, like I said, that will be before you to take a look at. They have started the work because the city is able to enter into contracts. That's a part of the executive branch. The legislative branch, which is the council, has asked that be prior to claims being paid for specifically professional service agreements that are expected to or anticipated to meet or exceed $5,000, those need to be brought to the council before a claim is paid. So that's the language in the ordinance.
But
Before
before
a claim
something's
is
paid doesn't
paid.
mean that it hadn't been done.
Because you're not prohibited from beginning a contract. You can't. The executive branch has to have the opportunity and the ability, as they're given in the statute, to enter into contracts. But the Common Council has the ability to create the ordinance that you did, requiring that should a professional service agreement that we anticipate to meet or exceed $5,000 needs to come in front of the council before a claim is paid. And I think this may have been written like this because you have to keep a distinction, a separation of the two branches. The council isn't going to want to try to prevent the executive branch from fulfilling their statutory right to enter into contracts. That is the right of the executive branch, and they can do that. It is also the council's right to create an ordinance like you did, and so we are going to fulfill that obligation. And if at any time you have questions about a contract that you see come through the Board of Works, I'm more than happy to talk with you about it.
Well, I think the end goal of this $5,000 cap,
Right.
irregardless, however legal looks at it from however, all the legal,
Yeah.
perspectives. But the end of the goal was, so we're not sitting here 2 weeks before the end of the year facing a $4.2 million additional appropriation. That was the purpose of the $5,000 cap.
Right.
But, so anyhow,
And so I believe the chief of staff and the council, or excuse me, the controller provided that no one is asking for $4.3 million. I think that's been discussed. I think everyone feels like, okay, let's just make sure that we include some language that maybe will not exceed this amount if we're going to put that in the public, because the public wasn't aware of this. There is, and I just want to reiterate, there is no request for 4.3. There is a request that was asked for in the amount of 800 and, I don't have the numbers in front of me. That is what the appropriation is about, and that has nothing to do with these contracts that have been coming through.
oh, I understand that.
Okay.
But, and, I just said the 4.3 just basically for effect, because I know there's some
Yeah.
people here that read it in the newspaper and said, oh my
And that's why we
God.
want to clear that up. That's not the case.
I understand that.
4.3 million is not the case, okay? So, do we have a question? So I think the controller, yeah, right, correct, it was in the paper.
Point of order.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we move on with the
Yeah.
agenda?
Okay.
Thank you.
'Cause I don't
Thank
want to address it, but, okay. All right, so I just wanted to explain about, the ordinance when it comes to the 5,000. I know that sometimes it gets a little hard to kind of understand what is supposed to be in front of the council when it comes to something that meets or exceeds or anticipated to meet or exceed $5,000. But just know it's first, in the ordinance, it says it should go in front of the Board of Works first, and then before a claim is paid, that contract needs to come in front of the council.
Okay.
And so we will be fulfilling that. And so, like I said, NetLogix, and I would welcome if there's a council member that wants to talk with us about how the handbook is going and the development of that. Happy to have you come and join us. But, so I just wanted to address that with the $5,000. Again, my office is open. If you have a question about a contract, please feel free to reach out.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Thank you.
I do have one.
Councilor Chavis.
No, it's not a question, it's really just we might want to clean that up a little bit, and maybe add some language that says that the contract will come before the council within 30 days of being presented to the Board of Works. Because I think,
After being presented to the Board of Works?
yes,
Okay.
so after they vote on it, because there's no reason really for the delay. I think it could be expedient, and then we don't have to worry about vouchers not being paid, you know, delaying money to vendors and all of that, because, you know, we're behind the power curve. So I think maybe we just need to consider adding a time frame from when it is, comes before the Board of Works, and then when it comes to the council. That might
something
help
we can-
everybody feel a little bit more comfortable.
Okay. I just want to reiterate that none of the contracts currently in place are impacting any numbers. There's nothing that's being held off on being
Right.
paid. We're going to get it in, we'll get it in front of you, definitely. Like I said, I have one that I know for certain will come in front of you because it has the potential, while we have that may not exceed clause
Yeah.
in there. I don't know that it's going to get to $22,000. It could potentially get to 22, but that puts those parameters in place. And you want to keep that language in there like that, because then it's not, we're just
Right.
going to give you this money. We need to see your invoices. We need to see the work performed.
Yeah,
But because I know that it could potentially, I'm going to bring it in
yeah.
front of you.
Okay,
And if I
thank
had been
you.
more time, I would have tried to get it for this meeting, but,
Okay.
you know.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
Thank you.
I just have one point to clear up for clarity purposes. The public hearing that was announced earlier that was scheduled for December the 29th has not been scheduled by me as yet. So just be aware of that. It has not been scheduled yet. Okay? Okay, next on the agenda, citizens' comments. Please limit yourself to 3 minutes. Daniel Rapp.
Daniel Rapp, 5718 Wallingwood Drive. Topic, probably not what you're suspecting. I'm looking at the Code of Ethics, Council Rules and Procedures, especially that 14-page document. Put me to sleep reading it. But I say that that piece of paper is about worthless. I think I got your attention now. Scope. Most people think elected officials are covered by it. City of Lawrence employees are covered by it. I did not see one word in there about contract individuals working for City of Lawrence. I did not see anything about volunteers doing work for City of Lawrence. I did not see anything there about personal service contract individuals being covered. Are they or are they not? Second thing, I read through that document. I did not see anything in there about authority to enforce the rules. And if you bring somebody on charges up in front of a court to wreck their life and their career, they're going to say, you don't have the authority to do it. So the document needs to have authority to enforce, whoever it is. Next item. If you're going to have, like I saw the things about gifts and donations, the rules about that. Well, there was a situation where a public official accepted donations of about $2-3 million. He was fined less than $100 because of the way the code was written. Sounds like crime does pay. So you have to have some punishment and you have to have penalties. I didn't see anything in that 14 pages. Next item. If you're going to have enforcement, you also have to have an appeals process because there are political enemies out there that come after you. I know I get phone calls every so often that people don't like me, but that's life. But you have to have some type of an appeals process so that if someone is politically targeted or actually not guilty in the first place because their spouse doesn't like them.
Mr. Rapp, your time is up.
With that, I take it
Okay,
that,
you got 19. Go ahead.
oh, 18,
I'm sorry.
okay. But I have nothing against code of ethics, but it needs to be written so it can be enforced. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Rapp. J.D. Masur.
Good evening, councilors. J.D. Missouri, 6203 Carrington Drive. On November 5th, I think we'll all recall, there was a shooting in Whitestown, Indiana, of workers that showed up at a house. Less than 3 weeks later, November 24th, 2025, in our neighborhood, Sharon Freeman, we had some workers show up at a house that were there to do some painting and a little bit of carpentry. The neighbor to the house next to that house where the work was being done came out with a gun. The workers that showed up included a firefighter and 2 other workers. The only reason I knew about it was because the owner of the house where the work was being done called me and said, what do I do? I said, call the police. So fast forward to December 11th, Councilor Mazur and I went to the police department to find the police report. There is none. The police officer did not do a report. We asked Chief Bigsby to assist. We asked the assistant chief to assist. Nothing. My client who called me on that went to the police station on December 11th, sent an email to the officer. No response to date. A week later, not pound sand, not I'm not gonna help, not nothing. This is not acceptable. So I was thinking, what can I do? Well, I thought I'd come here because somebody needs to light a fire under Chief Bigsby. Now, there's somebody I know that has a very close relationship with Chief Bigsby, who's my counselor, Sharon Freeman. So I'd ask you to assist Counselor Freeman to get Chief Bigsby to do what needs to be done to make sure there were reports filed. Because not only did this guy threaten a firefighter, he also threatened a counselor while she was walking on a public sidewalk. And this is not okay. We're gonna have something at least as bad. We have the potential because the guy that made the threats had previously shouted, I'm gonna kill you, mother. We have it on tape that he did that before. And it's just not acceptable to do nothing. And I'd ask the city administration to get on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Masur. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming.
Brandished a weapon.